Since the topic is gender superiority, proceeds taking the stand on female gender superiority. Taking the male superiority stand. Before we start to introduce the panel of judges, we have the head of the department, Mr. Sheikh Sabah. The head of the science department, Mr. Haitham Masoud. And our guest of honor is the consultant, Ms. Zoya Hussein. We're going to start now. The debate is going to take 45 minutes. Kindly be quiet and attentive throughout the debate. We're going to start now. We're going to start now. Introduction 12F, Burhanuddin Swani. Burhan, you may start.
What can a woman do for a man that he cannot provide for himself? Over centuries, people from all over the world have debated about this controversial topic. Stereotypical traits like empathy for women and aggressiveness for men became widespread. Well, those stereotypes haven't emerged from nothing. Research suggests that gender characteristics do exist and play an influential role when it comes to the workplace. Ultimately, the evidences, facts, and statistics favor the male gender when it comes to professional careers. Man's productivity, innovation, and leadership have been the key forces in the economic and technological development. Women's great advancement shouldn't be neglected. However, the fact that they are superior is incorrect. Talking statistic-wise, 9 of Forbes' top 10 list of the richest people in the world are males. Out of the 193 internationally recognized nations, only 31 nations are ruled by a female. Resources such as the Wall Street Journal report that only 11% of the US major top companies have female founders and CEOs. Well, as we all know, studies don't lie, statistics don't lie, and facts never lie. Thus, my teammates and I believe that man has the upper hand when it comes to professional careers, and this society should indisputably be considered as a male-dominated workplace. Thank you.
You're on whose side exactly? You're on whose side exactly?
We're going to have the
أنا مع واحد بس.
So Sheikha Lubnan, the first woman to hold a ministerial role in the United Arab Emirates. J.K. Rowling, the first female author of the best-selling book series in history, famously known as Harry Potter. Oprah Winfrey, a name distinctive in the women's achievement history for her outstanding role as a media mogul, actor, entrepreneur, activist, and philanthropist. Those are a few of the successful famous women that we've heard of that have revolutionized women's presence in professional careers. Women's presence in professional careers. Each of these women a woman can be. A friend, a sister, a wife, a mother, and a colleague in their best forms. Just like a trunk holds a dream, women are the reason we have an outstanding society. Women are the foundation on which the world is based on, and without a foundation, the world is crumbled into pieces. Gender superiority has always been debatable in the professional field. However, it's undebatable that women create and are the future builders of the world.
Now the first point, 12F, Rami Laham.
God created man to decorate this world, and for him, the world has become a beautiful place. Physically speaking, men are the backbones of the society, and there's no doubt about that. We're not saying that women do not perform physical activity like men, but men do it more efficiently. It is not an opinion of mine, it's a fact. To support the fact that men are physically superior, studies in the University of Colorado and Colorado Springs proved that women encounter two phenomena: menstruation and pregnancy. Well, menstruation also causes few other disadvantages for the woman that makes her inferior, such as what? Laziness and sorry. Laziness and change of mood. Change of mood and laziness can cause a woman not to perform her job efficiently, and she might just snap out if she faces a little pressure. Other than menstruation, we're speaking of pregnancy. Says Dr. John Brown that after that pregnancy can cause a woman to perform less efficient than her, like she become less efficient than man. So do men face pregnancy? No. Do men face menstruation? No. That's why they're in the physical sex, the superior sex. Now, statistically speaking, by several research by Ronald Monahan over the past couple of years, he was trying to prove the upper body strength of man and woman, which includes biceps, triceps, shoulders, and chest. And statistics proved over the past 5 years that men from the age of 20 to 29 exert a force of 285 newtons, while women from the age of 20 to 29 exerted almost half of the force, which is 185 newtons. Now notice something here. Men from the age of 70 to 79, which are retired, exert the force more than the women that are 20 to 29 years old. Nonetheless, the take-home message is clear. Men are physically superior than women. When it comes to physical activity, men do their job and they do it right. Thank you. We're going to talk about the testosterone of men and how it helps the man do his job more efficiently.
Testosterone is a very important and interesting hormone produced by the testicles. It is produced mainly in adult men with broad effect on many body functions and target organs. For example, testosterone increases body muscle mass, it decreases body fat mass, it increases muscle power, increases energy, increases blood counts. So those are what we call the metabolic effects of testosterone. It also has cognitive effects, where testosterone improves concentration and mood.
So as you can see, what testosterone does, it improves the efficiency of man of doing a job. It gives him enough muscle mass to perform a physical task. For example, firefighting. Now, according to the Association of Women in the Fire and Emergency Services, only 6,200 out of 1,150,000 firefighters officers are female. What does that mean? It means that males are actually stronger than women. Why? Because the testosterone in their body helps them perform their job more efficiently. In addition to, there are limited jobs to male that a woman cannot do, or that's harder for women, such as what? Oil rigging, mining, construction, and the list goes on and on. Thank you.
Kindly be quiet. You may proceed.
Men are more physically and superior than women. Then why do women live longer than men by 10 years, and why do men die more of diseases than women? The higher percentage of them.
What does this have to do with professional careers?
The women live longer, thus they have more and more energy to work.
Where are the statistics? Where are the statistics?
We can't hear you.
Which university, which... Give me proof. I want proof. Where did you get this information?
Okay, then how come just upper bodybuilding?
I didn't mention only upper body. I mentioned firefighters, I mentioned motor rigging, I mentioned mining,
And yes,
construction.
there are many women that are better at that than men, because with proper training they can perform better than men.
Well, women have the rights. Why aren't they doing it?
They do.
I want proof. I want statistics to prove that they are physically superior. You're not giving me. You're just saying that they are better. I want statistics. I want proof. I mentioned to you the proofs at the University of Colorado. I told you how they managed. All right, can I just point out something? Even though your question is irrelevant, but I answered that. You said that men die younger, right? Okay, that's because they perform harder activities. They perform physical and harder activities than women.
No, that is not true. It is because men have less
Less fat? That's because of their testosterone, which reduces fat and gives them muscle mass, yes.
Yeah, which is why you die.
What does that have to do with professional careers? Good morning.
The team is asking for replacement.
Alright, so do you think that men and women can compete in athletics, for example?
I believe so.
Okay, so, and who do you think is going to win?
Well, according to statistics, well, it depends on what's the sport you're playing.
Okay. Give me, like, example.
Okay, sprinting. Yeah, sprinting. Yes.
And who's going to win?
Man, eventually.
Men, yeah. Okay, so how do you explain the presence of athletics such as Kelly Kulik, who's a bowler, and she won against 62 female pro bowlers?
You're doing
One more. Billie Jean King, she's a tennis player. She won against the top pro champion in the battle of the sexes. So, well, women can actually achieve better than men.
We're talking about specific races. We're talking about maturity here. You're going to convince me that women are actually physically superior than men? You're trying to say that?
If with proper physical training, yeah, they can. It is.
Sports, you exercise daily.
Give it up.
All of the Olympic records are actually most of them are actually beaten by men. Men have had the higher scores. And when it comes to weightlifting Olympics back, if you go back to the 2006 Olympics, men have actually two men, and they were competing with a woman, with two women. The woman was the most muscle mass, it was weightlifting Olympics in 2006. The men won because the woman she had She was actually the most muscle mass woman, and she lost against her. How can you expect that?
When both men and women have the same muscle mass and some stuff, they can actually.
She had actually more than
Okay, so
her name is Honmei. She's Japanese.
Okay.
And she had more muscle mass. She was 2 kilograms less than her competitor, and he was male, and he won.
She was less.
Yes, but she was
so
more.
he had more
She was more. She was
he had
2
more body
kilograms.
mass. So you expect her to win. When you equate both men and women, then they can.
Now the first point will be the Jane Maker. The Jane may start now.
When we think of physical power, our minds directly paint the picture of a strong man with muscles and all of that, possibly a superhero. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, always ending with the word man. This stereotype has been planted into the minds of our earliest ancestors and watches by the next generations in male-dominating societies. However, our contemporary world has proven otherwise. Certain biological factors account for the difference in strength between men and women. However, when we equate men and women on lean body mass and body structure and body dimensions, these differences almost disappear entirely. When these differences are controlled for, gender accounts for only 1% of the difference in upper body strength and 2% in the difference in lower body strength. So, it is also important to mention that the biggest determinant of voluntary force is the cross-sectional area of the muscle. The proportional relationship between the cross-sectional area and the maximum force is the same regardless of gender. So with proper physical training and muscle development, females can achieve as much improvement in strength as men. Not only do men have a biological advantage, but so do women. Studies show that women's bodies were created and designed in a way to have more pain tolerance. A woman giving birth can experience up to 57 units of pain, while a normal human being can tolerate up to only 45. And since studies show physical and emotional injuries trigger the same pain in a person, this results in females having better stability at work and having to work under pressure more efficiently. The pulse by the known career side of it proved that by conducting a gender study. The results showed that 54% of women worked for longer hours in comparison with 41% of men. They also showed more willingness to do work, and they showed willingness to take less days off. This gives women another point at being better candidates at careers than men. This tolerance that women possess has enabled them to be excellent multitaskers. Multitasking is a process that requires both physical and mental fineness, and women possess both. Women's outstanding ability to tolerate physical pain has enabled them to do 2/3 of the world's work, account for half of the world's food, and raise the next generation into outstanding society. In fact, women have competed and surpassed men in work, labor, and families. So, a recent study shows that women form the major contributors in working force in families.
That's right.
In addition, science and genetics continue to support the claim that women are physically more superior. Women have an X chromosome, which is longer than male's Y chromosome. So this enables women to have more genes that theoretically boost a woman's immune function. So women can actually fight disease and still claim that men are superior. Being a woman is a privilege. It is an excellence. Socrates once said, once made equal to man, a woman becomes his superior. Now, women did not have equal rights with men back in his days, and he actually said that. And now, today, women do have the rights, and they are achieving better, stronger, and greater than men. So the question here remains, can men actually compete with such magnificent creatures? I know the answer of that.
Now the first examination. Slowly.
And did you know, according to women, that us men can handle anything?
Well, did you know that according to men, women exaggerate everything? Everything. That's why we decided to make an appointment with Dr. Julie Masters.
Hi, how are you? Dr. What we're going to do today is we're going to put some electrode stimulations on your abdomen, which are going to give you some contractions, so we can stimulate the contractions to show your way when you're
That sounds fun.